Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good early morning, different places of the countries. Thank you so much for coming to Girls for STEM, guys. I really do appreciate you guys coming to my channel. And I just want to say that, we're here to encourage girls to pursue STEM. We're here to acknowledge other scientists who have navigated STEM, and we're here to also encourage the girls to expose them to different endeavors, so they can see other role models, so that they can be inspired. So today we have very interesting guests, guys. We're going to start with Regina Mutonga from Zambia, guys. So enjoy. So let's bring Regina up. Hi, Regina. Thank you so much for coming. I've always wanted you to come to my show. I'm so glad you did today. But before I preempt everyone, I would like you to introduce yourself to my viewers.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I know we've been kind of talking about this for a very long time, but finally I'm here.
Yes.
My name is Regina Mutonga. I am co-founder and director at Asikana Network, which literally means young women. Bantu-speaking people immediately know it's about women.
Yes.
And it's basically an organization that deals in helping women and girls meaningfully and actively participate in technology, and not just actually being in those fields, but making a footprint that can be remembered that we are there and we're doing something.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Regina. Guys, she's in STEM. I know she has introduced herself on one other part, but we are yet to hear what is she doing and what did she do. Thank you so much, Regina, for what you're doing. You are doing a very interesting cause, and I love it. I'm rallying, for you in STEM as well. And, we are here all to encourage girls pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, Regina, what is your background in terms of career? Would you share with my viewers?
Yes, so I studied, initially, I studied computer science and more focusing on management. It's very interesting that I studied so much of it. I was not interested in the management part of it, but that was the majority of the degree that I did. And then I went on to do more technical things like actually programming and focusing on software engineering afterwards. This was not on my parents' money because they would never have allowed me to change, because when you tell your parents this is what I want to do, they provide the money. And so midway when you're telling them, actually, I'm thinking this might not be my path. So
Yes.
I just went ahead and did what my parents were told in the very beginning.
Yes.
And then I started to realize that I was very good at taking things apart and putting them together. And so I started focusing more on studying on my own software engineering.
Yes.
And this was from, of course, from school, but also from Uncle Google and
Yes.
YouTube, you know. And that's what I did. Interestingly, I'm back to the management part of what
Yes.
I learned and didn't like, because that's what I'm doing now. I'm managing. I'm not doing a
Correct.
lot of software engineering. Yes, so that's my background is computer science, and it's been an interesting journey so far.
Wow, that's interesting. You know what I love about you guys, viewers? What do you think? Most of the engineers they talk about, as well as scientists, technologists, healthcare professionals, they talk about. You see some curiosity in them. You see how she was saying she could Google, she could. If you see that tone is in every engineer that comes here, scientist, technology. So, guys, you see how it's you have to be self-driven. You have to be looking for things. You have to be curious. It's not wrong to be curious, to be, asking questions, wanting to know what is it, how can I do this? Looking for information to help you pursue, what you're trying to figure out. What is it? Where can I find it? Can I go to YouTube? Can I go on internet? Can I ask someone who knows about it? Things like that. Well, that's interesting. So, Regina, that's so good. So let's focus on you again. So I would like to go maybe 5 years back when you were 5 years, I always say 5 years, but when you were like 5, 6, 7 years, what's going on in your life? is your mother talking about, or your parents, your dad, talking about science and technology? Are they discussing anything related to programming, STEM? Could you share with us, with our viewers? Because we have mothers here who come to watch this show. And we
Yeah.
also have kids. There are kids right here who also come to watch this show. So what happened? How did it start?
So I'll share from two perspectives. One from your request, 5 to 6 years old, and the second from the year that it actually happened for me. So 5, 6 years old, I was being raised by my grandparents. My parents were alive, but they were in the United Kingdom. In fact, I stayed away from my parents for a very long time, and it's only later on that I realized my grandparents are not my parents because my actual
Y-
parents came back and took me to their home, and then I realized, oh, these are my parents. Okay.
Yes.
So at 5, 6 years old, I was raised by um, a very skilled man who was my
Yes.
grandfather, and he was a builder, very
Hmm.
good at his job. And my grandmother dropped out of school in fourth grade. However, she was very good at baking for somebody who had never gone to school because anyone who bakes will tell you it requires precision and a bit of
Yes.
math. She was very good at baking. So I learned a lot of resilience, I think, from my grandmother. She had 16 children,
Wow.
so I have always grown up with people around me. So
Yes.
when I had the opportunity to go to my own house, I chose to first of all live on my own for a little bit because I always grew up with noise. Give me a chance to be without the
Yes.
noise for once. But when the spark for computers actually happened, I was 14 years old. My
Yes.
father came home with a laptop, and I think there was DOS at the time, very, very old laptop, very heavy and very big. And I asked
Yes.
him what he was doing and what that thing was. And then he says, oh, this is a computer. This one is a laptop because it's smaller. And he started to talk to me about computers.
How old were
So
you, Regina? How old
I
were
was
you?
14. I was
Okay.
14 when I was
Yes.
first introduced to computers. It's the first time I saw one. I was really intrigued by it. Before, naturally, I've always been the type of person who just takes things apart. So I'm those children that you hear about who take apart remotes. I'm that. The kettle, the TV, it's me. Just it's unfortunate my parents are not here because I would have paid them back for all the stuff
But
that I brought.
remember
But
our old parents, what they used to do if they find you've dismantled. Oh my God, they're gonna give you a good beating.
yes, a
Eh?
good
And
beating in true African fashion. Yes, a good
yes.
beating. So I
Uh,
was one of those children. So when my father came home, and because I was constantly over his shoulder trying to see what he's doing on that thing, so
yes.
he would keep me occupied by there was a game called Race, which was in DOS. It wasn't as pretty looking as the new ones that ironically I make now. It
Yes.
was 2 or 3 colors, I think, and in order to play the game, you had to learn how to code a little bit. And
Yes.
so my father taught me the initial code to enter the game so that in case he's busy or he's not there, when he's left the laptop, I can still play on it. So that was my initial introduction to computers. And I remember telling myself when I grow up, I want to learn to my people on the inside, what's making them do that on the inside? Because in my mind, I was thinking something is making this do this. So I
Wow.
had already made up my mind by then. And I didn't even take a gap year, by the way. I
Yes.
completed at 17, at 18, I was already enrolled into computer science
Wow.
against my mom's better judgment, but also she understood because I do come from a line of people of remote breakers, if we can call ourselves that. My mother
Yes.
was actually the first registered female quantity surveyor in Zambia.
Yes.
So having grown up my mother she was always the only woman, the Iron Lady they called her. She's late now. She was always the only woman, the youngest. Ironically, I'm going into that path,
Correct.
and she's not here to really see the full. She was here at the beginning of my organization, but she passed away. So when I told her at 17, remember we talked about computers, I want to go and
Yes.
study it at school now. There was no blinking from my parents. My parents were civil servants, they didn't have a lot of money. They just said, okay, go and get application forms, tell us how much they are, we'll give you the
Hmm.
money. And whichever one you're selected to will find. Ironically, I was picked to, at the time, I don't know now, but at the
Yes.
time, I was picked to go to one of the most expensive colleges in
Wow.
Lusaka.
Yes.
And that's the one that I wanted to go to, but I didn't understand the concept of money. So I
Correct.
just said, I've brought these applications, I've been picked for these ones, I like this one, so I'd like to go to this one. And so my parents, they did the thing that parents do. They looked for the money and they paid for me to go to school. And
Wow.
that's how I started the journey. I have no idea where my parents got the money from, because I do know now that I'm older that, you know what, my parents were not rich. So it does make me wonder where they got money to take me to a school like Zika. But I didn't disappoint them. I don't think that I
That's
did, you
wow.
know?
That's interesting. Regina, you've just shared one important thing that I always want to share with parents about providing an environment when children are young that would trigger something for them to pursue, a career that is, very, very lucrative. For example, STEM. And I would like to share just a little bit, Regina, just slot in something. I'll tell you why parents should evoke certain things when kids are young. My parents, my sister and I, we did very good in science classes and math when we were very little. So my dad decided to send us to UK, but he was broke. He didn't have money. So he told us that you've been accepted at Essex University in London, and he didn't have money. So he looked for money, he looked for a loan, nothing happened. Those acceptance rotted. But guess what that did to our minds, me and my sister? That embedded something very, very powerful. We never forgot, and we always wanted to know what is it that my dad wanted us to go out that world where he wanted us to send us. So I'm telling you, because some of my friends asks me, we were going together, saying, but you never mentioned anything that you want to go out of the country or something like that. I said, I know, but there was this at the back of my mind trying to run. But it's not only just going out of the country, but it's about a career. It's about something that our parents embed in us when they provide something around us. So, when you say that your parents brought a computer in the house, that really just made it. So, guys, Regina is a software engineer, and she's in STEM. She's also a very staunch advocate for STEM. She'll share a little bit with us also about her organization. So, maybe let's go into that part of your organization. What are you doing now, Regina?
Oh, there's a lot that we're doing. Interestingly, I had a community meeting with a few of my friends today, because it's a different community leader. So, Asikana Network is considered a community, and I have friends that run other communities. We call them communities. And we
Yes,
were all talking about how we are not, we tend to do the same thing, but differently at different time without telling each other.
yes,
Um, so there's quite a bit that we're doing. The biggest project that we're doing right now is in partnership with Facebook Africa.
wow,
And it's a digital literacy. It is by far, so far, I think the largest campaign that we've ever dealt with. Also, I think also the largest partner that we've ever worked with, and we've
yes,
been partners since 2019. So it's a digital literacy campaign, and we are focusing on teaching children up to the age of 18 how to properly use Facebook. It's
yes,
interesting how most of us go to Facebook and we share memes and the GIFs and we kiki and everything, but people don't know that you can make money off of Facebook. People make a lot of money from Facebook and they don't even work in an office. They simply use Facebook. So we're teaching the kids how to do stuff like
talk
that. We're
about
also teaching
YouTube.
them
Talk
safety.
about YouTube itself. How much
Yeah,
people
I
are
mean,
making money.
of course. I mean, YouTube is a money maker. TikTok is a money maker. So we're talking
Yes,
about all of those things. The one thing that we start with at every single class that we hold is safety.
yes,
Um, is between March 2020 and present day, cybercrime has risen in
yes,
the world because people are home and they have nothing to do. So we're
correct.
hearing more cases of, identity theft happening, and all of these things. A lot of the times, you'd be surprised, children or young people are at the helm of all of that. So
Look,
we talk a lot about safety in that digital literacy campaign, but of course we have the normal programs, what we call the normal programs that are running in the background, which is training, and we train women all the way from simple things like basic computer usage, all the way to social media management for money. Everything that we do is not only to bring more women into the technology field in Zambia because
mm,
we have so few of us, but it's
yes,
also to help them be sustainable, because this is not about, we're always trying to teach our women to be sustainable. Yeah, you should not let knowledge rot in your head. So
Correct.
even when I lost my parents, I always
Hmm.
tell my students, when I lost my parents, of course I felt I lost my parents very close together, and I felt like I had lost everything. And then I remembered the most expensive and most important inheritance that my parents gave me was education. My parents ensured that my sister and I were educated, made
Yes.
sure. So with that knowledge, I decided to start what it is now, with the empire called Asikana Network, because it doesn't matter how someone can beat something out of you or torture you. Once the
Yes.
knowledge hits your brain, it's there for good. It's there forever.
Good.
So we do a lot of those trainings, which are happening right now. We just finished one 2 weeks ago on safe social media management.
Hmm.
And we're starting another one. October is a very busy month for us, actually. Every single year is very busy. So I can tell you a little bit about what we'll be doing in October, just in case someone wants to
Sure.
join. So
Sure.
we
Yes,
have
definitely.
Flutter programming on a large scale, which is a programming language, and it won't only be for our members. We normally only do it for our members. This time it will be on radio, it will be on TV. We'll be calling for women only to apply, and then we
Yes.
teach them for a specific period, completely free.
Yes.
Um, we also have Africa Code Week. I don't know if you're aware of Africa Code Week. I'm the Zambian ambassador for Africa Code Week.
Oh, really? Please make
Um,
sure you invite me. I would like to participate.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I would love to have you, and it's great that we're in the initial stages of planning and everything. So
Yes.
I'll definitely invite you. So, Africa Code Week is basically a commemoration of, like it says, coding, but it focuses on children, and
Yes.
we work with specific ages. Of course, it's 8 to 17, and the kids learn how to program. We start with simple things like Scratch, because we feel it's the easiest thing for a child to understand and comprehend, and that's
Yes.
what we do. But it leads into a larger event called the African Code Challenge,
Yes.
and the best idea or the best program that the kids come up with in Africa Code Week gets a prize. So, I mean, it's not prizes like T-shirts; it's prizes like um, virtual reality goggles, it's cell
You.
phones, so it's substantial. Kids like that kind of thing these
Yes.
days.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
substantial prizes that we give out. So we also have that happening. We also have an intense 2 week follow up of the social media training that we had 2 weeks ago, which is
Yes.
now, it sounds very boring, but this is now the metrics. I was talking about this in the morning to my friends, and she had a blank look on her face, like, what are you talking about? So the facade that Facebook and Instagram and Twitter will show you, there's always a social media manager at the back who is doing all of that
Correct.
work, who is targeting. So there's actually a lot of, it's a metrics game, it's an algorithms game. So that's what we'll be teaching them. We gave them a week off to think about it, and then we'll be diving a little bit deeper into that. And all of these activities will dive into November
Wow.
when we close off for the year, the activities. So I mean, there's always so much going on in
Hmm.
my organization. I sometimes ask myself, how am I doing two master's programs at the same time?
But you know
I'm
what?
running an organization. I'm a mother. Hey,
But you know what, Regina? That's the only way we can encourage girls to pursue
yes,
science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. They need to see people like us who've been there, who
yes,
are doing it. But we also have other things we're doing, but we would like to couple all those things and just go full throttle and share with our viewers, mothers out there, kids. And the thing is, because there are not so many people who know about this is so
true.
alarming that very few mothers, even some of the engineers, they really really don't pay attention to say, am I alone at my job? Am I
Yeah,
the only one in this industry or something like that? So there's so much work to be done. I really really agree that we are doing so much and we really need help, because you're not the only one. I have other people I've seen who are really advocate for STEM. They're doing so many things at one time. The thing is, if we don't do it, we have to do it. We have
yeah.
to do as much as we can. Wow, that's really interesting, guys. Make sure you can support Regina Mutonga. And where do you have a website, or how can they find you if they want to join you to be part of your organization? How can they do it?
So luckily, because interestingly, 13th of October, we will be celebrating 9 years of existence. I just realized that just now, which is huge. Luckily, because we've been in existence for so long, I think we've kind of coined, we own the name Asikana. You don't even need to finish it. So when you go on Google and just
Asikana.
search Asikana,
Yes.
ASIKANA, our socials pop up. Our Twitter, we're very active on Twitter. We're very active on Facebook.
Yes.
I'm not sure if our application, it might have actually closed yesterday because today's a. So we open our applications twice a year, once in January and again around September. There's a specific reason. One day when we have a longer, I'll explain why we do that. We
Yes.
started doing it 4 years ago, but it's a control measure thing that we do to ensure that we don't. We actually are able to help people specifically in the group, because then if we opened it all the time, you know how even competitions are not open the whole year. There's a specific
Yes.
reason for that. Yeah, so you can find us on. We have a website, very active website as well. Um, we're on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I think most people usually find me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Um, yes, so it's. I think we've been fairly easy to. We've done a lot of firsts. So I think also if you Google Women in Tech Zambia, our
Mm-hmm.
name pops up in the first five results, if I'm not mistaken, which is I think it's huge that someone Googles women in tech Zambia and our name pops up. So yeah, we're very active on social media. You can always find us there if you need to. The
Wow.
applications are closed. However,
Uh-huh.
we still have lots of programs that we post onto the pages that
Yes.
people are always welcome to join.
To
Yeah.
browse around. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Regina has an organization, Asikana, guys out there in Zambia. Please check her out on Facebook. She says she's on LinkedIn. Find out more from her, what she's doing, especially coding for young ones. We need a lot of young ones to code. And also, I think, Regina, you should come back so we can discuss, because most people think computers will get our jobs, but I would like them to know that behind every computer, behind every robot, behind every most of the things, there are people behind doing
Yeah.
work that you don't see. So I
Yeah.
think we should come back and discuss. That's a very big discussion for another time, where you can share with us what it means. Because most people, when I ask kids, I was talking to kids in South Africa the other time, they think computers are taking our jobs, so I try to explain, not really, we are partners, but that will be for another day. So Regina, I would like you to, I'll give you some few minutes to say to a girl growing out there, how can they pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
One thing I always tell people is I realized I was different from other people because I'm very open minded, and I feel if you are closed minded, it's very difficult for you to thrive in any STEM field because there's so much that is involved in STEM. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you need to be open minded. When I say open minded, I mean if you are watching and you are a grade 10 student in Lugoto in Dola and you're wondering, oh, but it doesn't look, I don't even know if people believe this, but I grew up in Lugoto. Yes, that brown dirt, that one. And Lugoto is not a suburb in Dola. It's not considered a suburb. That
Yes.
is, I think it's like I think Lugoto is like what can I? It's like the garden of Lusaka.
Yes.
Like it's a low income. I grew up there. I was very happy, but look at how I thrived. So I
Mm-hmm.
always tell girls to say we were in that position, but we did not remain in that position. So
Yes.
you are given all of this knowledge to enrich yourself, but also
Mm-hmm.
enrich other people. Women are different from men. When we learn something, the first thing we think is, I need to teach somebody else. So you need to have an open mind. And I honestly tell people in the 21st century, you kids are so lucky. There's
Yes.
Google, there's YouTube, and
So
all of this.
much
Honestly,
information.
so
Yes.
much information. An hour a day, you dedicate an hour a day to learn something. I have students who, in 1 week, I have one student who learned 3 programming languages in a space of 2 weeks because
Wow.
she dedicated a specific amount of time every day to go onto YouTube, sit, actually try out the code and do it yourself.
Yes.
Also, one last thing, for everyone that's worried that computers will take your jobs, first of all, machines are here to help us.
Mm-hmm.
They do not do anything without our input. It's called the Gigo effect: garbage in, garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell a computer to do something, it will execute that. So, how will a computer take over your job? It has
It
no
can
brain.
know
Like,
that
let's
you're
give
thinking
ourselves
about the
some
other
credit.
job and it takes it. It
Yeah,
can't
you
do
know what
that.
I'm saying? Like, let's give ourselves some credit, guys. We have brains and they do not. I feel like human beings just do not give themselves enough credit. It's maybe we've watched too much Terminator, blame those movies, but it's a Gigo effect. We call it the Gigo effect. The
Yes.
computer is garbage in and garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so worried about that. My 4-year-old, yeah, come.
Yes.
I'm trying to show people that it doesn't age, doesn't matter. See, my
Yes.
4-year
Yes.
old is able to use a smartphone.
Oh,
She's 10 years.
Hallelujah. How are you, sweetheart?
So really, someone who comes and tells me that I'm 30 something, I think I'm too old to learn something new. Oh gosh, really,
No.
it doesn't matter. It just so happens that her father and I happen to be in computers. She's privileged, you know what I'm saying, because she's around computers all the time and she's been able to use them since she was 2 years old. But
Yes.
yeah, just and also helping. Women should always be able to help. It's not always that I have time, and I'm always very honest with people on this.
Mm.
I don't always have time to do specific things, but I will always respond. And if I cannot help you, I will always put you in touch with somebody who can,
Help.
help, or even throw you into one of my classes sometimes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Guys, I think we need Regina to come again. We have a lot to talk about, guys. This is a platform where we share about the knowledge, we showcase what we are doing. Why are we doing this? We want to show women, girls, that this career is doable because it's been labeled like it's some kind of weird, strange, like girls can't do it. So, guys, we're here to, encourage one another. We're here to showcase role models. All these people you are seeing here, they're all role models for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, thank you so much, Regina. I really do appreciate, and I hope to see you again. I know you're very busy. I hope I can snatch you out from your busy day and come and share
Yeah,
with us.
no, but I always give you audience and time because I like this. It's just that I'm sad that I have a class today, and that's why I really wanted the recording of this because I've been
Yes,
wanting to meet that young lady. What's her name?
Malaika.
Makumba? No? Mwango?
Which
Because I
one?
saw her on Mwango. I think it's Mwango. Mwango Makumba. I saw her on
Mongo
a
Makumba
news.
is coming very
Yeah,
soon.
I mean, I really wanted to listen to her. So I saw her on. I think I mean, I obviously because of my line of work, I tend to get a lot of news about. So whenever someone, any girl or any woman is making headlines, almost always someone will be in my inbox on LinkedIn. Have you seen this? You should really reach out to this girl. You
So
should reach,
I have a surprise for you, Regina, because you're going to see her today.
Yes, and I wish I could stay and like I wish I could be one of those also asking questions because now I like it when I'm in a position of being a student because I'm always at the front and always teaching.
I know.
I like it when I'm at the back and for the first time I can raise my hand and say, okay, what about this? What did you wanted to study this? Okay, how much did you get in this? I really feel nice when I meet girls like this. And I would have loved, I think we talked about this and one of
Yes,
these days we should do the class that we talked about, not really, but a session where a few of my girls are present,
please,
the
please.
younger ones, they would really love to be part of stuff like this because they need
I
to,
would
we call
really
it
be
STEM
glad
at
to do
work.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to leave you because I have a class
No
that's starting
problem.
at
Thank you
7:30.
so much. It was really, really wonderful having you. And hope to see you soon.
Yes, obviously. I'm always here. I'm just sometimes I take a day or two to respond, but I'm always here. Just send me a message and we're always here. Me and my daughter are always here.
All right, thank you so much, Regina. Guys, that was Regina. You know, she's really busy most of the time. I had to drag her. I'm like, please, please come. So she's in Zambia, guys. She's a software engineer and she's also an advocate, staunch advocate of STEM. So, guys, before we go get one of my guests, very interesting guests, guys, I would like to share something. Guys, I would like to announce that we have a website, guys, and the website is girlsforstem.org. If you have a chance, please go visit our website. It's out, it's new, you know, it's still, you know, further under constructions, but, you know, we are good to go. So thank you so much, guys.